Hello, this is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hopefully, the third time is a charm. We've had a little disruption with our internet, but our word of the day, start out there, it's noctambulate. Noctambulate is to sleepwalk or to walk about at night. So that is our word of the day. Let us stop our share and we're going to go over to, we're going to look at our heat map. We got a lot of red on the heat map. Heat and chill. All our big cap tech seem to be rising except for Tesla. Tesla was up a little earlier, I believe, and it is going down. So we got a lot of down movement. So that is our story there. I'm going to share our other screen. If you're getting close to retirement, you're at all concerned about what the market could do. It's always a possibility it could turn into a 2008 where the market went down 54%. This protects your wealth. Goes up when the market goes up, holds steady when the market goes down, goes up again when the market goes up, holds steady when it goes down, beats index investing by about 5%, 12.58% on average to 7.57%. If you'd like to learn more about products like this, please reach out to me. And we are now going to move over to our charts. Interesting MicroStrategy has held kind of steady when the crypto market has gone down. Let me just stop the share and I'll bring up the crypto chart. So yesterday they hit an all-time high of pretty close to 123, had a big sell-off overnight, tried to move up again, and another sell-off down to 116, tried to recover, and a bunch more selling has come in. So we'll continue to watch this for you. Take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is holding up a lot stronger than Bitcoin at this moment. It went up to 3,000, pulled back to 2,950, and now it is still above 3,000. So our hats off to Ethereum. Now we're going to go back to our charts. We're going to go over to the indexes. Nasdaq is up 0.3%. The equal weight on the Nasdaq was down earlier and it remains down and is low for the day, down 0.57%. The S&P 500 was down earlier and remains down to the 10-day moving average. The equal weight on equal weight is down 1.2%, down to its 20-day moving average. The IWM slices through its 10-day moving average, down 1.68%. And the Dow Jones is moving down about 0.81%. We're going to turn to our sub-indexes of the S&P 500. Finances slice through the 20-day moving average. And our index without Warren Buffett's big fund and MasterCard and Visa is down 2.23%. Energy is down falls to its 20-day moving average at 1.28%. And aerospace is down slightly, holding pretty steady. Here are a couple of movers in that area. Joby Aviation is pretty far extended from the breakout. I would say the breakout would be right about here, probably on this gap up. It did take out the low of the gap, so you would probably sell there and maybe get back in right over here. Another one that is trending well is ACHR. Pretty good blue tower here on volume, and it rises 4.91%. Let's get back to our index coverage. Here is the VIX. VIX is up 17 cents, really not doing too much. Our interest rates rising 1.62% on the 20-year treasuries. Communication services are down. Oil is down to its 20-day moving average. Real estate is down. Still remains below most of the moving averages. Biotech is down to its 10-day moving average. The other biotech falls to its 20-day. Software is up slightly today, a 0.15%. Technology gaps up 1.04% today. Infrastructure falls through its 10-day moving average. Our semiconductors gap up on the news with being able to ship like the H20 NVDA chip to China. So they're up 2.11%. I'll just take a look at NVIDIA. Big gap up there, up over 4%. Broadcom, a little over 2%. And AMD got a nice gap up there, up 6%. On to airlines. They're still above the pivot zone. They're down 1.78% today. Leisure activities down 2%. Industrials still in the pivot zone. Caterpillar pretty flat. John Deere falls. Healthcare slices through its 50-day moving average. Consumer staples continues its downtrend off 0.87%. Building materials fall, slice through its 20-day moving average. Metals and mining was up slightly. It is holding steady. Home builders fall to their 20-day moving average. And finally, uranium, CCJ, leader in this area, looks like is getting ready to break her out of this temporary base here. And small ticket item looks like it's trying to break out as well. This is Denison Mines. So that is the story there. let me take you over to our news of the day. I'm just going to pause recording for. So in world news, China's second quarter GDP slows to 5.2% from 5.4% in the first quarter. Japanese bond yields rose as investors worried Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's ruling coalition could lose its upper house majority. And 20-year bonds rose to 2.63%. On to sector news breakdown, Geely Automotive out of Hong Kong will acquire the chunk of electric vehicle maker Zeekr. The Geely Automotive does not come up on our charts, but Zeekr does, and it is up 2.16 as it works on a consolidation here. Chinese automaker BYD said it has launched a smartphone car connectivity feature across this lineup, compatible with Huawei, Xiaomi, Oppo, and Vivo phones. So that is the story there. Lazy Boy said it would acquire furniture gallery store network in Southwest region from Atlanta Furniture Galleries for undisclosed terms, and investors did not like that. It's down 3.82%. Red Robin Gourmet Burgers announced its first choice strategic plan aimed at driving long-term shareholder value while updating its second quarter financial outlook. Initially greeted with cheers, and then it sold off as people start to take their profits, still up a little over 3%. And Tesla on Tuesday launched its Model Y at about 70,000 in India, the highest price among major markets, as U.S. automaker is grappling with slowing sales bets on prospects. Its country CEO Elon Musk has criticized India for its high import tariffs. On to energy, industrials, and materials. ConocoPhillips seeks to expand oil exploration in Alaska and Arctic. Willow project is still under construction, but it is already projected to produce 600 million barrels over the next 30 years. And ConocoPhillips is off 1.52%. National Fuel Group was double upgraded to buy from underperform at Bank of America with a $107 price target. It's up 5.66% on that uprise. Spire Global awarded $1.2 million NASA contract renewal for Earth observation data. Sells off to the 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 2.67%. Financials, JP Morgan is down on its quarterly adjusted EPS at 496, which tops consensus of 447. It is nearing its 20-day moving average, off close to 1%. Bank of New York rises on its quarter EPS $1.94 versus $1.76. And it's pretty flat here at the moment. Wells Fargo quarter two EPS $1.60 versus $1.41. Quarter two net income $5.49 billion versus $4.59 billion. They were expecting a little better news there. It's trying to bounce back to get to its 20-day moving average. BlackRock was off as well. They had a beat of $12.05 versus $10.60 estimate, fall to its 20-day moving average. Highest volume in the base on the sell-off today. And finally, FBK Financial. Quarter EPS 88 cents, in line with consensus. Now we're on to healthcare. And NGO Dynamics. Had a quarter loss of 3 cents versus estimated loss of 12 cents. Initially rose and then sell off of 10%. Ascendis Pharmaceuticals announced new data from week 156 of its phase 3 pathway trial, confirming long-term treatment of TransCon PTH continued to provide durable response in adults with hypoparathyroidism regardless of its cause. And it's holding right in about where it was yesterday. Simulations Plus, quarter three adjusted EPS 45 cents versus estimate of 6 cents. And still it falls 26%. On to technology, media, and telecom. We did look at NVDA earlier in our index pass. Gaps up after plans to resume sales of its H20 artificial intelligence accelerator to China. Ericsson's shares fall. Quarter two sales in at 56.13 billion Swedish crowns, or $5.84 billion. Google has a couple of news items, has agreed to secure as much as 3 gigawatts of U.S. hydropower in the world's largest corporate clean power pact of hydroelectricity. The deal between Google and Brookfield Asset Management includes a 20-year power purchase agreement. Google is up slightly, and Brookfield Asset Management is pretty flat for the day. On the other news item, First Energy is investing $15 billion in the state's energy grid in Pennsylvania. Google is investing $25 billion in data centers across Pennsylvania and neighboring states. So First Energy is pretty flat, and Google is up slightly. You can look at Google here again as they move into the pivot zone. Oracle will invest $3 billion over the next 5 years in artificial intelligence and cloud infrastructure in Germany and the Netherlands to meet upbeat demand. And the stock that Oracle is up slightly. And a stock that we looked at briefly yesterday in the news that is also in the Netherlands and in the AI sector that would use that data center infrastructure is up 3% today. And the trade desk shares were up as they replace ANSYS in the S&P 500 index. And they gap up and fall to the low, but they're still up a little over 8%. After hours are down another 1.25%. And finally, China's smartphone shipments dropped by 4% year over year in the second quarter. Apple's market share in China was 13.9%, and Apple was up slightly, 0.23% on the day. So let's take a look at a few other stocks in the big cap tech. Amazon is up slightly, getting out of the pivot zone, up 0.29%. Microsoft is up slightly, 0.56%. I do believe we looked at Tesla in the news. It is down 1.93%. Netflix is up 0.13%. And that is all that we have there. MicroStrategy falls a little bit more at the close, down 1.93%, but holding in to its pivot zone pretty good. So that is our story today. And we end with our quote of the day, comes from Benjamin Franklin. And Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. So go out there and have a great Taco Tuesday. Support your favorite taco truck and help those in need as you can, and go out and continue to inspire and lead others to a better day. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Have a great day.